So thinking about the basics can be a pretty tricky topic. It's like, why are the easiest things on the planet the hardest things to do? Time management, health and exercise, even just reading a book, one book a month. It just seems like the most complicated thing to do in the world. There's no excitement or flash with the basics. It's pretty boring usually. But the irony is you need to be excited about the basics in order to make it through, because literally focusing on the basics gets you the majority of the results. So I wanted to take all these concepts about focusing on the basics and actually put it into action. So that's what we're going to talk about today. These are 3 steps that I use to get excited about the basics to build a more aesthetic body. And these steps will work in any domain, not just fitness. But again, I wanted to take these concepts and really hone in on one specific thing, keeping it basic, which was fitness. So hopefully you guys can learn something from my experience. So number 1, it's yourself versus boredom. As I said before, you need to be excited about the basics. The late and great Kobe Bryant once said that the reason why he was the best NBA player at some point was because he got obsessed and really enjoyed focusing on the basic parts of being a basketball player. So before I got started with calisthenic workouts, I wanted to really plan it in a way to where I would never get bored. So I would have absolutely no reason to never continue to enjoy it. I would have fun and really challenge myself at the same time. For an example, I really dislike gyms. Like I hate going to the gym. I hate the smell. It's a really weird smell in there. And then pushing heavy weights, bench press, squats. It's not really my cup of tea. I like being outdoors, getting fresh air, a lot of body weight work, being out in the sun, getting that sweat in that way. That's more my style. So I went on Amazon, tried to find like something that was pretty portable so I could do some dips and some pull-ups, because those are some of the most basic fundamentals when you're doing calisthenics. So I ordered that, got that sent to my house, and I was super excited to get it put together. And really, I think 2 days after I got it put together, I started working out. So this is the way that my brain was thinking. I knew for a fact that if I went to the gym, I wouldn't enjoy it and have a good time doing that. But how can I still get the same workout and the same benefits from the gym somewhere else where I would enjoy it more? So that's why I ended up getting the pull-up and the dip machine from Amazon, because I could set that up in my backyard, have my fresh air, get my outdoor activities together and have the sun on me instead of being in the gym indoors, because you know yourself better than anyone. So if you don't like using fishing rods to catch fish, there's several different ways to catch fish. You can do spear fishing, you can use the net, you can probably jump in and try to catch them with your hands. Good luck, but it's a possibility. There's a Chinese proverb that will put this in better context for you. There are many different paths to the top of the mountain, but the view is still the same. So whatever your goal is, you have to pick the path that best suits you. There's no one way for everybody to make it to the top of the mountain. Maybe let's say you're a salmon, right? And there's a stream that you have to swim up to get to the top of the mountain. Not everybody is going to have the skills or the tools of a salmon fish, or somebody else might be a rabbit. A rabbit won't be able to swim upstream to the top of a mountain, right? But a salmon could. But if you take them and put them in opposite environments, then it's going to be very difficult for them to progress. They probably won't have a good time doing so. This isn't to say that it still would be easy. Swimming upstream is hard, but for a fish, it's not that hard. But if you have the tools and the skill set to do that, it makes it a lot more pleasurable. So it's about you understanding yourself and what your tools and what you're capable of in order to get to the top of the mountain. Maybe you're a bird and you got wings, but there's going to be a lot of gusts to get up there. You got to figure out how to navigate that. So that's number 1. It's you versus boredom. If you can defeat boredom and you figure out how to have fun focusing on the basics to get to where you want to go, you'll be good. Number 2, limit your options. A lot of people be doing way too much when it comes to setting a goal and trying to make progression into whatever it is that you want to reach. This is where all the anxiety and the doubt and the mental overload starts to arise. So for me personally, I wanted to work out for a month to about a month and a half consistently to see what type of results that I could get. With calisthenics, you can do your ab workouts. Obviously, you have your push and your pulls. You have your lower body squats. That's a lot for me to try to do, especially if this is my first time really committing to something like this. So I was like, you know what? I want to focus on one thing right now. It's going to be my arms, my chest, and probably as a byproduct, I would get my back and my abs too. But that wouldn't be the main focus of what I was doing. So I broke down my workouts like this. So I had a push day and I had a pull day, and I alternated between the 2 different days. So on my push day, I would do 10 dips and I would do 10 push-ups, and I would cycle that for 3 sets. For the pull day, we were going for 10 pull-ups, but then to my knowledge, I'm like, oh man, because I used to be able to do 15 pull-ups, but I was also 25 pounds less than I am now. The last time I did a lot of pull-ups. So I could only do 5 when I first started. I'm like, man, this is tough. But nonetheless, I still stuck with it and did what I could. Like I said, this is all about focusing on the basics in order to get a better body. So that's what I knew that I was focusing on. So I'm like, all right, if I can do 5, we're just going to rep out 5. So what I would do is I would do 5 pull-ups, and then I would do 5 chin-ups. Then I would do another 5 pull-ups to get my 3 sets in, and then that will be done for the day. And after that, I would would do rows. And for rows, I just pretty much did 3 sets of 10 for that. Some things that I guess people don't really take into consideration is the amount of sleep that you get, and then obviously what you're eating. So nutrition was a big part of this too. So I'm like, okay, again, thinking on the basics. I think I watched Alex Hormozy. He was like, yeah, dude, I get 200 grams of protein a day. I'm like, oh, that's probably not that much, but then that's kind of difficult to get. Well, for me at least. I don't, comment below if you guys tried that before, and let me know what you think. But I'm at the store looking at chicken and steak. I'm like, man, I have to buy like 3 of these a day in order to get 200 grams of protein. So I'm like, yeah, that's dead. I'm not about to do all that. So yeah, I definitely wasn't getting 200 grams of protein a day, but I was doing more of a protein based diet. So I was focusing on only eating meat. Pause. I was focusing on eating steak, chicken, shrimp, salmon, those type of things. And then also I made sure not to eat past like 7:30, 8 p.m. Just to make sure that my body isn't digesting food while I'm sleeping, so I can get all that energy into muscle recovery, which goes right into sleep. The amount of sleep that you get recovers your muscles a lot more. So I was really making sure that I was thinking properly and making the right decisions when still trying to work out. So these are just all basic, super easy, fundamental things when it comes to like building muscle and trying to have more of an aesthetic body. So after about a week and a half, my arms weren't as sore anymore and I started to get stronger. So I wanted to try to elevate the basics just a little bit, not too much, nothing too crazy, but still do like a elevator or a leveled up version of like a push up or a pull up or something like that. So I would do rows where like my legs were elevated a little bit more, maybe do like a decline push up, something of the lines of those type of things, just to challenge myself a little bit more to make sure I'm still getting a nice workout and tearing those muscle fibers up so they can grow back nice, strong, and healthy. So yeah, it's actually pretty crazy because after about a month and maybe like a couple of days, like I noticed like the first person who like I guess didn't see me in a little bit, he was like, yo man, you been working out? And I'm like, I mean, a little bit, like nothing too crazy, but yeah, like more people that I started to hang out with started saying like, dude, like you've gotten bigger, like what's going on? Like I'm like, oh, I didn't even notice. But yeah, it definitely works, and I still continue to do the basics even. And don't get me wrong, like sometimes I was traveling a little bit and visiting some friends and drinks were involved. I like to party sometimes, don't blame me. So I did end up missing like a couple days here and there, but for the most part, I stayed consistent on the schedule and made sure that I was doing everything that needed to be done in order to, keep my muscles and stuff built. So number 3, and I think this is the biggest thing that I even struggle with when it comes to like trying to reach your goals and figure out like what you want to do. Like you have to really understand why you're doing this. What's the purpose of you doing it? Like, I don't think it's oftentimes enough for you to say like, oh, I just want a nice body just because I want a nice body. Why do you want a nice body? What is a nice body going to do for you? And I think if you're trying to make changes to your life or to your lifestyle and you don't have that end goal why decision figured out, then it makes it a lot easier for you to, I don't want to say it makes it easier, but I feel like it gives you another factor to throw into you potentially giving up out of boredom, because it's basic stuff. You're going to get bored by it, but it's like you kind of have to do things to make yourself not be susceptible to that boredom, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm explaining that clearly, but hopefully it makes sense. Understanding why you want to have a nice body, or why you want to catch fish, or why you want to make $10,000 or $20,000 or $40,000 a month. Why do you want to do these things? And everybody's why is different. Like I originally wanted to do this workout and focus on the basics because, I was doing some market research on YouTube videos and this was a video that seemed like people like it. So I was like, let's try that out. And then as a byproduct of that, I was like, I guess I'm gonna get a nice body too. So that was my why, because I want to build my YouTube channel and build my business, and that's my why. And I think it's important for you guys to, if you're watching this about fitness, figure out why, like really dig down and figure out why you want to get fit. Like what is being fit going to do for you, or how is being fit going to change your life? So yeah, when I figured out this was a pretty popular topic, I was like, hey, I want to try it out for myself and actually get in the field and give my own personal take about it. So for me, that was more than enough reason for me to continue to stick with it, along with, me enjoying actually, working out the way that I wanted to work out in the environment that I wanted to work out in. And it just made it all easy for me. The process of leveling up is boring, it's slow, but there's very valuable lessons to learn along the way. All the greats say, fall in love with the process, fall in love with the process. And as I make my journey up the mountain, I'm still discovering what that truly means. Growth is hard and it's not meant to be easy, but from what it seems like is meant to be enjoyed in some kind of weird way, like enjoying the pain or enjoying the discomfort. And I think that's the trigger that we have to kind of try to figure out when we're trying to ascend to the next level. My name is Sanchez, aka Cheddar Chez, and on this channel we talk about the lifestyle of creatives, just making money as an artist or a creative business owner. So if that's what you're into, consider subscribing. If you're new here and you don't already know, I make videos for brands, products, or their services to help them make more money when they're running their ads. So if you're a business, hit me up on my website. It's probably in the description or somewhere on my channel. And if you're interested in getting started with something like that, you can check out this below playlist. And that'll be a great way for you to get started if you're interested in being on camera and getting a lot of cool products. I truly believe that art and creativity is a way. And through this whole experience of focusing on the basics, it's really given me a new perspective on how to go about my creative career. You guys should try it out too. Maybe you want to do the basics of being a chef or the basics of being a fisherman. I feel like I talked about fish a lot in this video. Kind of like freestyling a little bit, but also kind of going off the script. That's just how I do my YouTube videos. Don't judge. Whatever your goal is, whether that's fitness or whatever, just research the basics and focus on that for a month, 2 months. Don't even think about anything past that. Just keep it basic. Keep it chill. If you can find joy in the process, then I'd say you're on the path of major success. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.